Hi guys, welcome back to the home in Homestead. Today we will be doing a dehydration food preservation project of how to make tomato powder. So we will be dehydrating our tomato scraps in order to stock our pantry and spice cabinet. So if you watched some of my previous videos on tomato preservation, I have a video on ketchup 2 ways as well as barbecue sauce. And for both of those videos, I saved the scraps and the tomato pulp, and we will be placing that in our Excalibur dehydrator and making some tomato powder with that. Also, I had done some harvesting of green onions from the raised garden beds. You can check out a video on how to build them and how I planted them this year. And I was able to slice up many of those and put them in the freezer. And then I took some of the remaining green tops of the green onions, and we will be dehydrating those as well. So follow along and see how we use our dehydrator to make some tomato powder and other dehydrated products from things out of our garden. Okay, so first things first, here is the tomato pulp that we have from our various tomato preservation projects. So what we'll do is we'll take out the tray and spread some of this tomato pulp onto the dehydrator racks. If you watched my tomato ketchup 2 ways video, you can check out that video to see the tomato preservation tips I had and some kitchen equipment that makes the job a lot easier. For that particular project, I used my KitchenAid stand mixer and some various attachments in order to make this tomato pulp that I'm spreading onto the dehydrator tray. You want to get it as nice and even as you can, and you want to have as much liquid out as you can to start. I'd say this is about the consistency of if you use a sauce master and ran it through that style food mill twice, because it's nice and dry. So I'll get this into the dehydrator and fill the rest of these trays. So I think 5 scoops works well to fill the tray. Just spread them out. Last tray of tomato. Okay, so we'll put the lid on here, set the temperature to about 125. We'll start with probably 8 hours, then we'll come back and check the progress. I also have the green onion tops that I cut up. Once the tomatoes are finished, I'll do a tray or 2 of these to dehydrate them as well. Alright guys, so it's the next day, and I ended up dehydrating the tomato scraps at 125 degrees for 12 hours. So we'll take the tomato out, and as you can see, it's nice and dehydrated and very crispy. So I'll remove all these trays and I'll show you how I prepare the tomato powder. Alright, so all that I do is I use my Ninja Master Prep food processor. It's a much smaller capacity and it works really well for things like this. You just peel off the tomato. I'll add the lid and just pulse it a few times. You have tomato powder. And you can pulse it a little finer if you want a real fine powder. I see that on some of these trays in the middle, some areas are a little bit soft. So what I'll do is peel off what's truly dry, and then I'm planning to dehydrate the green onion tops. So I'll make a few trays of the tomato that needs to be further dehydrated and add them with the green onions. And that'll probably take 4 to 6 hours at 125 degrees. And then I'll have a nice batch of tomato powder that I'll put in this clamp top lid. I'll put the green onions in this littler one. And then I have some oxygen absorbers. I'll stick one of them in each jar. And then I'll have some nice preserved dry goods for the pantry. So I was able to preserve some scraps that were used for other food preservation projects to make a nice tomato powder. This works great as a thickener in sauces, and it's a really good tomato paste substitute. And I like to use this as a base for tomato dips. So you can do BLT or tomato pesto dips. You can plan on doing some dip recipes in there. And it also just adds a nice rich concentrated tomato flavor to whatever your recipe is. So hopefully you guys, if you have a food dehydrator, you can try some projects like this to add a nice staple item to your pantry or spice cabinet. And if you do not have a food dehydrator, I'll provide a link in the description box below where you can get them online. You can also get them directly from the Excalibur website through my link. You have direct access to their products and check out what they have to offer. So I hope you enjoyed our time together in the kitchen and just seeing how to use your food dehydrator to do some different projects. And you can check out the unboxing of my particular model of food dehydrator to see what features it has and what it looks like and things like that. And I also have another video on dehydrating some fresh herbs for making your own herb blends for your spice cabinet. Well, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.